Alright friends, so I'm going to join you for this viewing of the behind the scenes. We're going to have a little commentary, we're going to watch it together, and I'll let you know specific things that were going on the day of the shoot and any information I can think of while we're watching. So let's get started. Alright, so today is the first day of the cast getting together. I am recording this whole filming process because it's my first time doing any kind of movie with a speaking role, and so yeah, since it's a first experience, I want to document it. So today is the 10th of August. We're going to Iriso, which is the city the film is named after. Let's go. So basically this first day was just the cast and crew meeting each other. It wasn't the entire cast, but it was a lot of us getting together.
This is the way I'm supposed to actually do it. And if I figure it's not the way to do it, and I'm still going to let you do it exactly what do you figure is the best way to do it?
The policeman looks at Fumiya for a moment, sizing her up.
Too hard on him. He's not used to working with a foreigner or a woman boss, as far as I can tell.
It was really weird for me. They couldn't decide whether or not they wanted us to do an African accent or not. And since my character is from Africa, I was like, well, I'll try, because it kind of doesn't make sense to say that I'm from Africa, but I sound American. So I did my best. I watched some series on Netflix that were based in Africa to try and pick up the accent. And I watched Black Panther to try and pick up an African accent. So I did do study. I tried searching on YouTube, but I couldn't find an accent that was specific to Rwanda, which is where Agatha, my character, is from. So I just did the best I could. That first practice run that you heard right there is not how I sounded in the movie. It sounds better. So yeah, that was a really interesting part of this project. That was a new accent that I had to learn and study. So my character is the CEO of an IT company called Daba KK, and this local television station in Saitama is where we ended up filming all of our office scenes and like tech scenes. Hey everyone, it's day 2 of filming non-consecutively. We're not filming yet, actually. We are doing the scripting again. I turned it off, and we're going inside our building to do a rehearsal in Iriso. At this second script reading, we had more people who were not in as many scenes in the movie there, so we could practice together, and just they couldn't be there the first day, so we had a second day so that everyone could get together and meet and talk to each other. And since I had obviously the most scenes in the movie, I'm pretty sure I'm in every scene, or almost every, I'm in every scene that was shot in Japan. Like a quarter of the movie was shot in Nigeria for flashbacks and context for my character, but for all of the scenes shot in Japan, I had to be there. So I went to the second script reading so that I could meet the other cast members as well. The location we filmed at today, I believe, is called the Citizens Interaction Center. It is also in Iriso, and it is in one of the scenes where me and one of my co-workers, one of my staff, goes to have a meeting, and we do not have a positive meeting. So this is where we shot that scene. It was really close to the train station, really convenient to get to, and everyone was really nice and did their best to accommodate us while we were filming. We're kind of disappointed that this scene got removed from the film because it took a long time for us to film it, just for it to be cut. But, you know, that's life, it happens. The movie is already, I think, at least 2 hours long, even with the cuts that the director made. So he made the cut for a reason. It was already a long movie, but still, it would have been nice to see the hard work. But I think it was a smart choice to cut it because it didn't really add to the plot. It kind of added to the plot tension-wise. This is a drama, and it was setting up that my character, because she's African, you know, she gets stereotyped, she gets stopped by the police, and she has to have her Japanese co-worker swoop in and come save her and get her out of the situation. But it wasn't vital to the plot. We found other ways to share that narrative. So it was a smart cut. We had a lot of office scenes and we had to work with a lot of different people's schedules. So shooting at the TV studio in Saitama, I think, is the location where we filmed the most, other than my apartment, but that's coming later. But that is definitely, yeah, top 1 or top 2 spots where we spent the most time together as a cast and a crew. The most costume changes. It was exhausting to have to travel there every day because it's not close to my apartment. But it was a really cool experience to get to see the inside of the TV studio and how it all worked. So it was really cool. I'm not mad at it. We shot in this room mainly for scenes with Yuri. He was the co-founder, was the co-founder of the Dabakeke company. So he's a real tech nerd, not really social. So he would spend all of his time in this little room making sure that the security was up to snuff for the company. And this is where a lot of this is where a lot of exposition goes down. I guess the dim lighting kind of reflected the darkness of the impending doom and the things that were to come. So it was really well lit, really well done, but it was really hot in that room and we had to spend a lot of time in there. I think this scene took some of the most time to film. I don't even know why, but it did. It took a lot of time to film this one scene. Good morning. It's like 7 in the morning. We're on our way to our 3rd official day of filming. Let's go. Morning, everybody. It is day 4, I think. I'm a little frazzled right now because we are filming at my apartment. So I've been cleaning all morning. I still need to do my makeup and my hair, and people are coming over at 9. But I was able to clean up nice. I sleep in the closet, you know. Yeah. It's looking good. It's looking fresh. It's smelling fresh. That's what's important. But yeah, we're gonna film here today. Just for context, when I said I sleep in the closet, I meant my character I do not actually sleep in the closet. I had people ask me that at the premiere, like, do you actually sleep in the closet? No, that was for the character. That was part of her issue, not mine. So for this scene, my character wasn't at home and I had to pretend to be out of the house while my coworker came in and looked for something that she needed in my apartment for business reasons. So they filmed inside my apartment, and since it was supposed to be a video call, they wanted it to be realistic and they didn't want to have to find a way to edit my voice out from recording that in there. So she actually video called me on the phone and I just stood outside of my apartment and completed the call. And then on another day, when it was my turn to shoot me doing what I was doing and I was on a video call with her, she was at home having a video call with me. So that's how we shot that scene. It was on separate days, but I was in the same location when she was at my house and she was just at her house running lines with me basically while I was shooting that scene. We didn't have a crazy amount of scenes outside, but we did have quite a few. So it was always a little weird when we had to do it in crowded areas or like the city where it was quite busy, because of course people are going to stare when you see someone walking around with a huge camera down the street. So of course my favorite outdoor scenes were ones when it was night and no one was around, or when we were in the countryside and no one was around, because believe it or not, I don't like people staring at me. Like if you're watching a movie, you're watching me but you're not staring at me, you're staring at the screen. So I didn't like people staring, so it was nice when we had outside scenes where no one was around.
We're getting ready to film a night shift during the day, so we have to black out all the windows. Okay, so it's, I've lost count, I've stopped counting days, but we're filming again today. They left their equipment here last night because we knew we would need to film again. We're about to film a night scene, even though it is the middle of the day. But yeah, let's get it in. Let's do it.
So this is actually an area that I frequent regularly. We shot this scene in Koenji, and it is after something very awful happens to one of the characters. I don't want to give it away just in case they ever screen it, or you want to get a copy of the DVD, which if you do, you can put that in the comments or like message me on Instagram and I can get you a copy of the DVD. But yes, this scene, once again out in public, is in Koenji. They have this huge street with like a bunch of shops and things to do down it. There are actually some good vegan restaurants around there. So maybe we'll take a trip there in one of the travel videos. But I actually like this area. It's a good spot to visit. So it was really cool to go to this area and shoot here and have another way to be connected to a place that I already like to go.
And now I have to be hungover on this beautiful day. Today's filming begins with Ali on the floor.
When we start, would you please do what I told you?
Yes. Off to work. Doing the breaking and entering scene today. The culprit. Good morning, friends. It's another beautiful day in Saitama. I was very tired the last time we were filming, so I didn't really get a good intro or anything for the last day. The clips you just saw. But we're back at it. We're back on our ish again today. We are going to shoot the opening scene and the closing scene. How beautiful is that? As well as some
little scenes in between. If you hear rustling, I've got my change of shoes and my change of clothes. I should say change of costume. But yeah, another day, a beautiful sunny day. Let's do it.
Today we were meeting with some day players. They were only here for this one day because they're in like 2 scenes, like I said at the beginning and the end of the movie. And the reason we're shooting so much in Iriso is because that is where the director is from. And so he wanted to showcase the beauty of the city of Iriso in Saitama. And one of the ways he chose to do that was shooting on an actual tea farm out there. So that's where we went today. A lot of the actors for these scenes actually work on the tea farm, which was really sweet. They were so kind and, you know, their English wasn't great, but they were still trying to communicate with me. I was still trying to communicate with them in what Japanese I knew at the time. And it was a good time. I can definitely see why the director wants to highlight his hometown, and I'm glad we got to go out there and shoot in some absolutely beautiful places in Iriso. We got permission to shoot on this lovely temple's grounds because there is a huge tree there that connects to one of the flashbacks from Agatha's childhood of her mother singing to her under a tree. So this is kind of Agatha's peaceful place where she goes when she's stressed and she needs to get away from the world. So definitely thank you to this temple. He didn't tell me which temple it is that we got to go to shoot this scene. If I find out the locations from the director, then I will put them down in the description box so that if you're ever in Saitama and you want to go and visit them, you can do. But as of shooting this right now, I don't know the name. So check the description. Maybe it's there. Maybe you can check it out. But it was a really beautiful scene to shoot because I got to channel my inner child being in a safe space with my mom and try and convey that emotion in these scenes. It was a little difficult because I was trying not to get my clothes dirty and there were ants all over the tree, but it really was still a beautiful scene and a good experience. So yeah, I liked shooting out here. I like tree hugging. I do get to hug a tree in the movie, so it was really nice. I've been aware for quite some time now that movies don't shoot in order of the script. They don't shoot start to finish the way that you would read it in the script, you jumping around in scenes and things like that. But it's one thing to know it and another thing to experience it. So the day that we were walking around Koenji takes place after this scene in the movie. So I had to evoke emotion for a scene that we hadn't even shot yet. Of course, I read the script and I knew what happened and how I should be reacting, but it was still interesting to actually have that experience of, okay, I have to be sad for this reason, even though I don't have a visual. Like, reading it and seeing it are 2 different things. So today is the day that we actually shot the scene that evokes that reaction with me walking through Koenji. It was very interesting to shoot. There were a lot of logistics to work out with blocking and camera angles, and we had to shoot the scene a lot of times to make sure that we got every angle and everything looked right and made sense for when it would be cut together. So today was a long day with a lot of running, but it was fun. When you watch the scene in the movie, it's not so fun, but shooting the scene was fun. Okay, friends, today is the last official day of filming for Iriso. It's November 11th. We are off to film a couple scenes we just weren't able to get done because the studio we're renting out is actually used as an active TV studio. So finally, we're almost done.
So excited. I'm very looking forward to seeing how this turns out and sharing the movie with everyone. Pretty much all of the scenes that we shot this day in the TV studio were B-roll or montage. I am in a montage. But it was kind of put off to the last day because we got everyone who needed office scenes done, so we didn't have to worry about getting a bunch of people together on this last day, and we just needed to get little things here and there to be able to finish up what we needed for our office scenes. After we finished in the office, we went back to Tokyo so that we could shoot some scenes with a character that in the movie I never actually physically interact with. I am communicating with a woman who runs the orphanage that my character grew up in back in Africa, and she wanted to get some actual scenes physically shot of her. Originally, because she was in Germany, we filmed a Zoom call, and that's what we use as part of the footage for the movie. But to get a more realistic feel, like you're there with me, you're there with her, we rented out, I should say the director rented out a studio in Tokyo, and we shot those scenes there. I wasn't actually in those scenes on camera, but I went so that I could say my lines with her, get the timing right, and it would be more natural than having someone else read them. So yeah, I was part of that filming day, or filming those scenes, but I wasn't in those scenes that she shot, even though we're technically in those scenes together. It's confusing, but it makes sense. And even though we filmed all of the scenes, that was not the end of the technical filming process. Okay. Okay. Anything from PR? Saki? Anything from PR? Saki? Anything from PR? Saki? Some of the scenes we shot outside had lines, and if it was windy or there was too much traffic or too much ambient noise, one of the scenes was by a train track, then I had to go to the studio for dubbing to make sure that the audio was clear for those scenes. So that's what we did today, almost a whole year later. I went to the sound studio and did dubbing for those scenes.
It's finally done.
Thank you so much for joining us for this behind the scenes look at our very first leading role in the movie Iriso. We hope that you were entertained and that you enjoyed watching it, and maybe that you learned something new. Definitely like this video if you did enjoy it, and of course subscribe to the channel to learn more about life in Japan as an entertainer and a teacher. And we'll also be posting more about how the premiere went once we get the September monthly vlog up and running again. Next, we have inserted part of the trailer for your viewing pleasure, and we have included a link to the full trailer below so that you can go over and watch that and like it and see what kind of drama it is. And we've included a little clip from the premiere as well so that you can whet your appetite for that next video. Once again, thank you so much for joining us here on the channel, and as always, be sure to eat well and travel often. See ya!
Not great.
I hope I didn't wake you up. No, not at all. Hello everyone. Hello. My name is Marista. In the film, I play Agatha. This was my first time doing a lead in a film, and I was very excited. I was very happy that Mr. Kurihara here allowed me the chance to help bring his vision to life, and I'm just happy to be here.